So my last video, as short as it was, surprisingly, I know, um, I literally just got done recording that maybe at 60 seconds ago. So the conscious thought in my mind of what I want to talk about with the Nintendo Switch, along with starting off each vlog video as okay, here's my thoughts. I don't know, maybe that could be my catchphrase. I have my make T-shirts and be like okay. Anyways, so why I did not like the idea of the Nintendo Switch from the get go, from before the get go, before we were even getting to go. What before they had ever announced what the Nintendo Switch was. For like honestly, there was a bad feeling that I had even when they were calling it the Nintendo X or whatever, when they said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to make an updated system that will allow you to play the original NES games and Super Nintendo games and, whatever like that." Reasons why I was not a fan of. Like I said, I didn't really have a reason why. I just had this feeling like that they were just trying to be hush hush and whatever, they were really wanting to do, I was not going to be okay with. Now, I don't have a say in what Nintendo does as a company. It doesn't really matter what I'm okay with. But as a gamer, I'm your audience. I play Nintendo games. I haven't in a while, but once money is no longer an issue, I plan on buying a Nintendo Wii and a Nintendo Wii U, their latest consoles prior to the Nintendo Switch. Now, just to get it out there, I'm actually think I might call this my Nintendo rant series, because ultimately I'm just going to start spewing off thoughts that I have about Nintendo, and like I said in the 5-minute video prior to this one, I'm going to just keep each video within a 10-minute increment to make sure that they can get uploaded without an issue, since I've had issues in the past with anything beyond, I think, 15 minutes. So I don't want to necessarily push it beyond 10 minutes, but since I do know that it will go at least to maybe 14 minutes, I don't want to hit that 15-minute mark, because then it won't upload. I know I've had issues with uploading things in the past where the minute it hits that, 9 minutes, and this was at the time that it only allowed me 10-minute videos. At 9 minutes and 59 seconds, I'm cool, but 10 minutes, boom, didn't allow me. Or it was like 10 minutes and 1 second. It was just like, once you are past that mark, it doesn't let you. So anyways, enough on that. I never got, I played a little bit of the Wii, and it takes some getting used to when you're a guy who is used to, controllers, and then you have to do the whole motion sensor. And I'm not going to say much on motion sensors or VR. I will try not to at all with VR because I don't have any experience on it whatsoever. So I'm just going to say something just because I now have the thought in my head. The motion controls and the games that I played for the Nintendo Wii, I think they were Umbrella Chronicles, which is a Resident Evil game, and I think it was the the Wii Sports, or whatever it was, the original Wii Sports, not Wii Sports Resort. So, I played the bowling, I played the boxing, I played, stuff like that. It's been years. It's been since closer to the time the original Wii came out. And one issue that I personally had was whenever I loved playing the boxing. One issue I had was the response from holding the nunchuck and the Wii remote, or whatever they were called. The gloves and your Wii Me, or whatever it was called, your character, your avatar. It didn't respond very well with certain punches and other stuff like that. But overall, I actually enjoyed it. I got hyped like if I was more or less in a virtual boxing match. Because, I liked the feel of, actually boxing and fighting, but I didn't have to worry about actually getting hit back. I'm not saying I'm a wuss or anything and I can't take a hit, although in my current health I do avoid fights the best I can because I know my body can't handle it. I've been sucker punched in the face. You're probably never going to be able to tell unless you meet me in person, and I point it out in person. But this eye socket is actually pushed back, and I've been hit by a car. My spine and hips and everything are messed up. It actually made me gain weight. So ultimately, you mess up your spine. That's your central nervous system. Nothing is going to work. So, that derailed a little bit. So, while I still have roughly 5 minutes, the Nintendo Switch. So, here's my story about it. Here's where in the last video I talked about conspiracies. I only brought up that I do believe in some conspiracies and everything. I'm not going to say which ones. I'll leave that for later down the line and my thoughts on them. But I think that there is some truth in conspiracies to an extent, depending on which one it is, of course. But here in America, I don't know if they have this conspiracy in other countries or if people even worry about it. But if my memory serves me, this was a big deal after 9/11. Now, I have a twisted sense of humor. That's irrelevant. I'm trying to keep my mind focused. It's very difficult. But more or less, during 9/11, I think Bush and other people, they were like, oh, well, we're going to start monitoring people. We're going to harass them. We're going to catch these guys and everything, which they're really, I don't know if they ever did catch them. I don't follow the news. I never have. Now, people are going to probably say something about that, and, I'll try and, like I said, Nintendo, trying to stay focused. Only got 10 minutes to do this. But me and my brother, my brother John, which, for the record, dude, if you find this, I'm actually not too happy with you. We'll go into that on another video. I'm running out of time. But, we used to talk about, we were brainstorming ideas on how to make a console from scratch. We were always fascinated with hardware and trying to fix other people's mistakes in terms of, how can you make a PlayStation 3 work the way that it was originally designed to? We don't know about the problems that it had. We probably should do our research on that if we were ever try to do hardware modifications. But I've seen a few things where people modify PlayStation 2, a PS2, a fat one, if you want to get nitty gritty with it. And they made it to where it practically had an internal hard drive built in. Not the kind that you had to buy the HDD or whatever the tech term is called, but to where they took it apart, they took the PlayStation apart, and then they took I think it was wire, they basically made a PlayStation 2 an actual PlayStation 3 minus the actual games and Blu-ray capability and everything that makes the PlayStation 3 what it is. What they did is they soldered the chips to a memory to I think 2 memory cards in there, and they put toggle switches and wireless receivers to wireless controllers, and they made it to where they had built-in stuff without having to worry about anything. It would be kind of cool to do, because even though it'd be a pain in the ass to do that every time a PlayStation breaks, I think it adds value to it, because I'm not big on materialistic things. I feel money is irrelevant, and you can live without it, and ultimately you can always rebuy whatever you break, which is what most people do anyways. So, anyways, I'm already hitting the 9-minute mark here, so I like to round if anyone notices. So, with 9 minutes to go, I will start the story about what me and my brother John talked about for on and off probably a good year. And then when I met my brother Devin, he was a new addition to the family. I may have to talk about how my family operates in terms of, stuff. But ultimately, especially with Devin, because he's an interesting case. And hopefully if you find this dude, that's not to be taken in offense. That's, again, how are we related? Because me and Devin actually are very distantly related. So, that's it. But yeah, ended up talking to Devin about it and telling him what the ideas are, and he is, oh my god, Devin, you don't realize, you think, oh, well, I have certain issues, and whatnot, which I'm not going to broadcast your business on the web, regardless of how many views these videos are ever going to get. So that's your business to tell. But, he's always like, oh, I have this and this kind of problem, or I am mentally not able to ever learn this particular task. Dude, you are so smart. I'm going to tell you that right now. You are so smart. How many things that you have come up with, rather it's in, I don't know exactly where all the different departments of the brain are and what does what, but whether it's considered an, intellect thing or a creative thing, dude, the things you've come up with since I've met you, the ideas, regardless if you have the funds to back them up, are wow. But yeah, so anyways, I have a lot of love for my family, the people who I call family and everything. And me and John, and eventually me and Devin, we built on the idea a little bit. At the moment, I don't know what all we built on because I'm kind of just gathering the general information. But yeah, we came up with these concepts and these brainstorms, and where the conspiracy comes in that I'll talk about in the next video is we did it all over the phone. So, anyways, I am going to end it here. I currently have my last video uploading, so I don't know if this video will be uploaded. You know what, by the time anyone watches, it ain't going to matter. Later, guys, on to part 2, explaining why I don't like the Nintendo Switch. And it's going to be salty to me for a good while. And, yeah.